What up, dogs? I'm Underdog, and I basically just wanted to talk about like what are going to be some of my plans for my account on this game and just the channel and the channel in general. So, I realized that after I recorded my rant about the Memoriam and how stupid it is that hold on, yeah still recording, this could barely see it. I realized something that kind of messes up even further. So I talked about how I already talked about how if my bot and its weapons weren't already maxed out, that I wasn't going to be running a pilot on it anyway. So, if you've been in the game, or at least recently enough, you realize that the only way to get your stuff maxed out now is to use upgrade tokens. You know, those Doritos, as everyone's calling them. And I'd already kind of realized this beforehand, but now it really hits home because I'm not going to be able to level anything else up to Mark III for a long time because those Doritos are very hard to get a hold of, which is dumb if you ask me. Of course, if you pay for them, you can get them just like anything else in this game. So that, once again, that's another thing that makes me think that Pixonic just really hates its free-to-players. So basically, I am going to pretty much not be using pilots for a long time until they somehow figure out what to do with this Memoriam and these upgrade tokens and this other crap. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be jump starting my collection, because my plans were pretty extensive in order to go with this account. But basically, essentially, I'm just going to be... I was going to do a lot of pilots, but now, since how I am not going to be using any pilots, I'm essentially just going to be working on the gear the way the way that you would have originally when this game first came out. Just basically maxing everything to level 12, at least Mark 1 level 12, of course now with Mark 2. Yeah, basically I would be using upgrade tokens, but like I said, they're very hard to get a hold of. So, as someone who's completely free to play, has never spent a penny on this game, probably never will, especially until the state of the game improves, certainly. So yeah, you'll basically be seeing a lot of really old school looking builds first. One thing that I did notice is that I'm gonna go ahead and go to the store. I want to scroll over all the way over to Tier 3 weapons. So starting at Tier 3, okay, when components first came to the game, that was the only way to get a hold of them was to either win them or to produce them in the workshop. And then later on, they changed it so that if a certain weapon or robot has been in the game long enough, that you could basically just buy it with gold. So basically, since I have 5,000 here, let's say it costs 10,000, or let's say it costs 5,000 to buy a Halo. That means that I would only end up having to spend like 2,500 gold in order to get the next one. But I've noticed going through all of this stuff now that they have reduced all components. They've reduced all Tier 3 and 4 weapons to where you have to get them with components or to win them in black market and whatnot. So with that being said, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on, I would say I would be working on whatever weapons I want, but basically, like I said, until I can somehow get a hold of some upgrade tokens, which I think is very unlikely, as a free-to-play player, I'm going to be pretty boned in terms of anything regarding to pilots or anything like that. I can still technically get a hold of drones, even though the amount of chips that you're able to get at any given time is significantly low. You can only get 5. The only task we have right now at the moment of getting microchips is that task for capping 10 beacons to get 5, and that's only once per day. So that means that it takes you about 8 days as a free-to-play player. Like if you have 0, it would take you 8 days as a free-to-play player to earn up enough microchips just for the first upgrade to the lowest level of a drone, and that's ridiculous. That is the drone rework and to be honest, I think this drone rework makes a little bit of sense, because the way that we used to do the drones, like the way I was playing it, eventually I would have had drones anyway, but at the same time, the old system of having to combine 15 tier 1s to get a single tier 2 chip, and then do that process all the way over to the point where you're literally using hundreds of chips just to get one tier 3 chip, and you're not even guaranteed to get a specific type of chip, is weird. I think the system now where you actually have to upgrade it just like any other piece of gear makes a little bit more sense, but at the same time, collecting the microchips is incredibly hard for someone who doesn't spend any money on the game. At least until they somehow introduce better tasks, maybe. Because getting only 5 microchips after capping 10 beacons, if you really try hard enough, you could probably cap 10 beacons in one match, especially if you're in the higher leagues. So only getting 5 is ridiculous. So yeah. I think one thing I definitely think is that there's just too many currencies in this game. The currencies that make there's obviously some currencies make sense. Like obviously we started the game with just silver and gold. That's how the game started out. They've been in the game ever since, and there's no likelihood that they'll ever take them out. Hopefully. I kind of want to knock on wood there. When they came out with platinum, that made sense because it was already expensive to be able to upgrade your bots. So, of course, it would make sense to go ahead and come out with another resource so you could use it only on your Titans. I mean, just look at how leveled up my Kid Titan is already, because I've not spent anything on this dude. I've literally just been using the platinum provided just for playing the game in order to do this. So I've got the bot itself maxed out, I've got all the weapons maxed out, and I'm currently working on trying to get that top Titan. He's level 8 right now. The Titan armor kit right now, that's what I'm working on. And I'll talk a little bit more about my plans, what I'm planning on doing with my Titan later. But for the point being is, like, platinum makes sense. Now, I don't know, most people probably recommend not leveling up a Kid in Punishers this high, but, I don't believe in chasing any sort of meta, so I will put my resources that I earn in my gameplay to whatever purpose I want. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but so basically, since how I'm not going to be getting any air tokens, like I said, I'm not going to be pretty much using pilots for a long time, and so I can somehow get I can somehow get some upgrade tokens, or they just change it, because I don't understand why it is they changed it to where you need upgrade tokens. because it wouldn't be that bad if they were readily available. But it's like, I guess you could see it as though, oh, they don't want it to be easy for you to get a hold of upgrade tokens, because if it was easy to get a hold of them, that means that everybody would have Mark III gear, whether you paid for the game or not, or where you pay for things in the game or not. And that would only make sense if you wanted the game to still feel balanced. But the game has not been balanced for a long time. The game has steadily become more and more unbalanced as the years have gone by in this game. And the way I play the game makes it a little difficult to kind of judge how balanced things are sometimes, simply because, okay, so as you can see, I'm only using Destriers and Cossacks really at the moment, but I used to be able to basically, because I actually have because I've been playing this game for 7 years, I'm actually good enough at the game that a couple years ago I might have been able to perform all the way up in Expert League with just Cossacks. Just Cossacks. Not my team carrying me actually giving, adequate support to my team. But nowadays I am floating around Gold League, which is a few leagues lower, obviously. Several leagues, even. I didn't mean to click on title. I meant to click on that. Do it load. Yeah. 2020. So I'm about Gold League 2. I was in Gold... I think I was edging towards Diamond 3 a couple weeks ago, but I'm not sure. But yeah. I'm in Gold League 2 at the moment, and obviously the meta is going to change. That's just how the game works. Of course, I've never thought that you should chase the meta, or at least not everyone, because to me it makes the game boring. It makes it incredibly boring when you have like everyone on the enemy team, or even everyone on your own team, running the same exact bots. That's how it used to be an issue back in the day. They called it an Ares train, because the entire enemy team would just be running nothing but Ares, so they would basically be invincible. You couldn't do crap to fight against it either, and it made the game boring, because how are you supposed to have fun playing against the same bot over and over and over and over and over and over? And nowadays it seems more like it's kind of a variation, so it's a Mars train, because it seems like every other person has a Mars, every other person has a Nether, every other person has a Ophion, or however it's pronounced, which is all good and fine, if people want to have those robots, if they want to chase a meta, that's their business. I don't judge how other people play the game, but at the same time, herd mentality, or mob mentality, what do you call it, in order to, do the same thing as everyone else is kind of, boring. Now you could call the way I play the game boring too, if you wanted, but, that's just, that's your own opinion. My opinion is my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but you can still respect the fact that I'm allowed to have my own opinion. So, sorry, this is like, basically this is just like another rant, just like the last one. So yeah, basically I'm going to be working on the next thing. I guess technically the next thing I'm going to be working on, I did say I was going to use Mollets. But since how I'm not going to be actually running any pilots, it doesn't really matter, because I was going to run specific pilot next, and I was going to use Mollets. But for right now, I'm going to be working on upgrading these spirals to Mark 2, to Mark 2 level 12 at least, and then I'll basically be just working on whatever I want to. I'm not sure exactly how the silver is going to come in. I seem to I have a lot. I have over have over 600 million silver, so I don't think I'll run out anytime soon. And of course, if I'm still continuously making more and grinding, but basically, you probably just will not see a new pilot on any of my robots for a very long time, simply because, you know, if they're not maxed, I'm not going to boost them with a pilot. The most that I might do is put a drone. The most that I might do on any new bot or any new build that I'm running is put a drone on them. Now, but even then, that's still kind of messy because you never know what the drone is doing exactly. If it's like adding damage, I'm not gonna exactly put a drone on a robot whose weapons aren't maxed out yet. So like if they're not Mark III, then what's the point of, you know, a drone that's gonna add just a little bit extra damage to my robots, which you could rationalize like, oh, because they aren't maxed, you should probably go ahead and put a drone on there in order to bring it up to try to get it to at least bring it up to as close to par with everyone else. But to me, I just don't feel the need in it. I just like, why I can save myself the heartbreak just by playing the game like it used to be played. And of course, this game will never be like it used to be, when it used to be called Walking Roll Robots, and everyone ran around in Desters and Cossacks and Gepards and Leos and Natashas and all that. But which is kind of ridiculous. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I'm sorry if I'm going off in tangents here, but another thing I wanted to talk about was how, well, I didn't really necessarily talk about it in this video, I was just going to mention it for a second. Basically, I'm in Gold League 2, so I think it's ridiculous. I've seen so many players that are running Meta Gear in Gold League, and it's not that there's anything wrong with that if you see it occasionally, but when you have literally everyone in Gold League running Meta Gear and nothing but Meta Gear, like it's kind of disappointing, because I'll see a player that's not even level 30 yet, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't think that I should be playing against someone who's not even level 30 yet. They'll not even be level 30. They have meta bots and weapons because they probably won them from the black market, but they don't even have the 5th slot yet. They don't even have their 5th robot slot unlocked, and I think that's dumb. Even to the point where they'll have 2 hangars, which is backwards. Like, how are you gonna? I'm pretty sure it costs like 7,500 to buy a new hangar anyway, or I don't remember how much it costs for the second hangar. Okay, it costs 1,000 for the next one. Interesting. I thought it was gonna be a lot more. I guess they lowered the price. That works. That definitely works out. But I don't remember how much it is for. I'm thinking it's 5,000 for the 5th robot slot. I don't remember. But basically, how are you gonna have a whole second hangar deck but not even have your 5th slot yet? Like, that's just, you know, noobs. That's just literally newbie behavior. Like I said, I'm going off of tangents. I didn't really mean to rant this much about different things. I just mostly wanted to talk about how I'm basically not going to be using pilots. So yeah, you can basically expect a little bit of everything. I'm going to be using, obviously I'm going to be using silver and gold weapons, and then eventually I'll start spending my silver on using buying components and stuff, or you know, producing components. But yeah, that about wraps up the video. Yeah, so that about wraps up the video. Underdog. Ow!